portion of the news brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.
A popular food store chain boss has taken his petition against value-added tax to the next level by predicting there could be hundreds of job losses should the government implement the tax.
But he's not getting off easy. The Prime Minister is tonight responding to what he's called job threats. Clint Watson has the story.
Comments from owner of the SuperValue group of food stores, Rupert Roberts, that implementing value-added tax could see some 400 jobs cut is not sitting well with Prime Minister Perry Christie, particularly as the nation's leader says he has already extended his ear to the coalition opposing that.
We agreed to pull back and allow the coalition that I thought he was a part of to actually engage a consultant for a study. They have engaged the consultant, and the idea was to see what the consultant says. We have engaged a consultant, and we believe that our consultant and their consultant, arguing from the same facts, will come at least with, if not the same conclusion, but a family belonging to the same family, and therefore the country would be better off.
Roberts' comments were recorded in the local daily, saying that he's losing up to $20,000 a month and the newly acquired Quality Market stores have yet to record profits. Roberts, who has gone public opposing VAT, evidenced by signs posted in his stores, says combined with the looming implementation of VAT, there's price control and other taxes that must be factored in. But Mr. Christie reiterates that a threat to the government is not the route to take.
I don't know why we would want to ratchet up the temperature or to say things about laying off people, because you see, no matter who owns what in the Bahamas, if there is a void, if there's a need for a food store, the food store will be found and established and succeed. So there's no, you cannot intimidate or threaten people by talking about layoffs at a time like this, when from where I sit and what you've just heard, the country is headed in a direction where more and more money will be in this country. So I'm really astonished that he would want to engage the government at this stage in the kind of language he's using.
Prime Minister Christie has not had his final say on VAT. In fact, he has already expressed a willingness to compromise in areas where it makes sense.
I will share the path of the government's consultants and allow them to meet with the principles of the coalition so that we can both agree that we believe the reports to be reinforced by integrity. In other words, that the conclusions are worthy of consideration. And that's where we're going.
Now, the Prime Minister is promising to address this and other issues in greater detail when he wraps up the mid-year budget debate in the House of Assembly later this week. He says it's one communication you'd want to hear. Clint Watson, ZNS Network News.
Nearly a month after she and her son were shot in their home, Judith Blair isn't only thankful for life, but wants her attackers to know that all has been forgiven.
She has called on the community to use her as an example that there is life after pain and sorrow, and the only way to beat the crime wave is to bring Christ back into the equation.
Well, you know, Noel Ferguson has that story.
Retired COB professor Judith Blair entered the Harry C. Moore Library with a renewed spirit and a message of forgiveness. This after she and her son were gunned down by robbers in her home several weeks ago.
What happened to me? Some say it's a tragedy. I say no. It's an opportunity for a turnaround in this nation, for God to be glorified, because those people out there who perpetrated crimes, they need to know that God loves them. And when we forgive them, then we have an opportunity to move on. I would like to meet the people who came into my home to violate me, to let them know I love them, I forgive them, and it's okay.
She came out today in support of COB presidential hopeful Rodney Smith. She recalled what happened on the day that her life was almost cut short. She also had a strong message for criminals.
I looked the gunman in the eye and told him, I forgive you, but you need to get out of my house and go, because I'm not getting down. I'm in no way afraid. People ask me, would you go back to your house? I say, that's my house. No one's going to run me out of my house. And so I want to speak to the criminals out there and say, surrender your arms, trust God, and say you're sorry, and let us heal this nation.
Blair sat with her son Peter, who says he too has sought forgiveness and does not want revenge for those who inflicted pain. He says one of the things people must do is celebrate the positives in life.
I think if we can look at somebody like her and say, we celebrate you because of your service, we celebrate you because of how you've invested in our children, then that can send a message to our community and to our young children that what we celebrate in the Bahamas is people making a productive contribution to our country. And so you in the media have a great opportunity to really change the narrative and to be able to play a role in terms of creating the expectation that what we will celebrate in the Bahamas is productive activities that go towards developing a stronger nation.
A 22-year-old man from Fleming Street was charged with 3 counts of armed robbery, 3 counts of attempted murder, and 1 count of receiving in connection with the robbery and shooting of Judith and Marvin Blair. Marvin, we're told, is still recuperating, but doing well. Janae Noel Ferguson, ZNS Network News.
Coming up in ZNS Total Sports, a champion is crowned in Night League Volleyball. We've got the highlights.
And how a duel in the pool helps Special Olympics. You're watching the Bahamas Tonight. Stay tuned.
This portion of the news was brought to you by McDonald's. McDonald's, I'm loving it.